if you made it this long.
Yeah. First of all, thank you. That means you're a devoted fan and would entertain picking up one of the few tickets we have left for our event coming up in a couple of days, which is the live podcast episode.
We are live in person, not streaming.
No. You'll be in a room with us as we make podcast magic happen, and you participate. There's good food, good drink, great atmosphere. This is just west of Baltimore in the fine town of Catonsville, Maryland, Music City, Maryland.
That's right. Atwater's. The show starts at 7. Highly recommend show up a little bit early, an hour early maybe. Get yourself some dinner, good food. Fantastic.
This is a show about the 500 albums that Rolling Stone says are the best, and we're gonna talk about them ad nauseum. This is a show about the 500 albums that Rolling Stone says are the best, and we're gonna talk about them ad nauseum. This is a show about the 500 albums that Rolling Stone says are the best, and we're gonna talk about them ad nauseum. This is a show about the 500 albums that Rolling Stone says are the best, and we're gonna talk about them ad nauseum.
I'm picking up good vibrations. I was expecting the beach ball, that's why.
Oh, the beach ball.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. Welcome to the Backwards Beats podcast. I'm Carl Carter Fansteel.
I'm Dan Woodard.
And we are so happy to be here on a chilly Thursday evening. We had to make some switcheroos. We have some scheduling stuff.
We do.
Over the next couple of weeks, but it shall not disrupt your listening, hopefully. We inherited a chewy album. Last week I opened up by saying something akin to man, have we ever had an album with so few songs on it? Speaking of Alice Coltrane, 5 songs, 39 minutes.
Yep.
Well, darn it if I wasn't ahead of the time here.
Yeah, Rolling Stone said, hold my beer, because here's a song with 3 songs.
37 minutes. And this is the band Yes. And the album is Close to the Edge, released in 1972. And yeah, you heard it right. 3 whole songs. The first one is almost 19 minutes long.
Yes, it is side 1 of the album.
Yep. And then the other 2 will be picking up the other 19-ish minutes. But yeah, I grew up with a parent, my mother, really liked Yes. I thought I may have been exposed to this. Boy, was I wrong.
So before we get into that, this is album 445. We're getting so close. 445 on Rolling Stone magazine's 500 greatest albums of all time list as of around 2023-ish.
That's right. And this is what I consider a trick album.
Sure, but before you get into that, I did cut you off. You said you're familiar with Rush. So with Yes, what was it? Was it Fragile? Was it what was?
It was the one that had Roundabout on it.
Okay, that's Fragile.
Yeah, that was the one that was always spun in my house. And that's why I'm calling this a trick album. Is because, I followed up with a couple friends, older folks too, generally, who had this album in their life. And the consensus here is this album was built to show all the other bands who the dominant band was. It was a very alpha album in that sense.
Sure.
Because of the amount of flashy playing and the epics of songs, and the styles they were using. This was more considered like an art piece amongst them than it was, to take it to the club, obviously.
Yeah.
You're not covering this. Unless you're a freak.
Not many people are covering this, yeah.
Whereas some of their other tunes, Owner of a Lonely Heart, as you were talking about right before we hit the play or the record button here.
Most people can cover that.
Very
song.
coverable.
Yes.
And so that's why I say it's kind of like a trap album or a trick album in the sense that if you are a casual music listener, this is going to hit you like a train. You're not going to know what to do with this for a very long time.
Yeah. But actually, I think if you know a little bit about what comprises this album, it actually becomes far more digestible, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree with that as well. It took me 2 or 3 listens and then a little bit of research, and then I started to listen to it differently.
Yeah.
We'll tell you more about that. This dense package unfolds.
Yeah. So, yes, for those who may not know, they were formed in London, in the UK, in 1968. They've been around for a minute. By vocalist Jon Anderson, bassist Chris Squire. Chris Squire's a freaking hero on this album. They're all heroes. But
Beast.
Yeah. They met at a bar and bonded over their shared love of Simon and Garfunkel.
And that's what they got out of it?
Specifically their harmonies.
Oh, there you go.
Right. So the original lineup was Jon Anderson on vocals, Chris Squire bass, Peter Banks on guitar, Tony Kaye on keyboards, and Bill Bruford on drums. He debuted playing with them in 1968 at a Speakeasy Club. The month after forming, they opened for Cream's farewell concert at Royal Albert Hall.
I'm sorry, a month after forming?
Yeah.
We don't get these opportunities, man.
No. So Peter Banks was replaced in 1970 by Steve Howe, who's on this album, who brought far more like virtuosic and jazz and folk, which is kind of weird. Like Steve Howe's playing is all over the
place.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep. And then Tony Kaye was replaced by Rick Wakeman, a classically trained pianist, which you can tell for sure on this album. And he had just left a folk group, which is so funny, like what they're coming in. And so this lineup, so actually Chris Squire is the only member of Yes to appear on every single album until his death in 2015.
Really?
Yeah.
So he's kind of truly the glue.
Yep. And it's interesting. And Steve Howe kind of went in and out because Trevor Rabin was a big member in the guitar world for several years. So they went on a break. They Ross and Rachel for a bit. So their debut album came out in 1969, self-titled album called Yes, which is a mix of originals and covers. And that has the I can't remember the name of the song, but the All Good People song that you know what I'm talking about?
No.
I'll get the name in a second here. And good album. And then that album, so that was their debut album. Then the Yes album was their breakthrough record, went gold in the UK and cracked the top 40 tracks with Yours Disgrace and Starship Trooper. Fragile, the album you talked about, which is the one that opens with Roundabout.
Yep.
Like, how do you, like...
That's such a absolute monster of an opener, but that's what caught my ear as a youngin'.
Yeah. Such a good song.
Indeed.
And that really sort of put them around bands like, alongside Genesis and other prog rock bands at the time.
Indeed. I'm glad to hear you say prog rock because I had some long conversations this week about designations for this band, and I believe strongly that this band helped open the door for what is prog rock. You can trace its lineage right up.
Yep. Yeah, and there's a lot of sort of ancestral stuff that goes on with some of the other prog bands. There's some footprints with this band with Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Yeah, that was one of mine on the list. But you could take this to the School of Rush if you needed to.
Yep.
You could take this all the way up to Chon if you wanted to.
Sure. Obviously, King Crimson is a part of this. Genesis and Jethro Tull, actually. And that's an interesting band. Is Jethro Tull prog or not? They're their own thing.
I'm going to say yes if you want to call folk prog a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, because that's what my father liked. That was the intersection because he's a flautist.
Yep.
And so we had a little bit of the Tull around as well.
Yeah, I love me some Locomotive Breath.
That's some pretty, that's some hippy dippy stuff.
Yeah, some good stuff. So this album was recorded in Everson Studios in London in the summer of 1972. Sessions began after Yes completed their Fragile tour. And there's a few things that were kind of going on at the time of this. Sorry, my computer just froze. I'm trying to get through my notes. Let me just make sure I've got it clear here. So when they were working on this album, and the writing of this album involved some listening to Sibelius. So that's one thing. So Anderson and Howe, both of them shared lyrical credits, and they gained inspiration from one moment in a hotel during the Fragile tour when Anderson was reading Lord of the Rings. We can get a little bit of that while listening to Symphonies number 6 and 7 by Sibelius.
Okay.
And he actually mainlined 7, Symphony number 7, is part of the compositional structure. Another thing that's actually the theme, especially of the main song, Close to the Edge, Round by the Corner, was inspired by the book Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse, which is this book of this. It's like this Middle Eastern. Actually, it might be Indian. Actually, I think. Yeah. So Siddhartha is made up of 2 Sanskrit words. I have to get in here. So the idea is Siddhartha is seeking spiritual illumination.
Okay.
And you can certainly get that in here. And I actually saw a breakdown where they talked about the different themes. The first song opens with a river. There's a lot of river stuff.
There's
and
plenty of mentions there.
Yeah. And essentially the lyrics are all the metaphors in the first song are about the idea of this dream that he had of passing blissfully from one world into the other.
I get up, I get down.
Yep.
Which is repeated multiple times.
Yep. And so there was a lot of that kind of going on, and in composition there was some Sibelius stuff. Steve Howe was also influenced by Wes Montgomery, even though I get a little more Alan Holdsworth on this than I get Wes Montgomery.
I'd buy that, and I'd also buy the former without challenge.
Yep. Yeah. So this was the last recording that Bill Bruford was a part of.
Okay.
He basically left after the recording of this album, even though he did agree to stay with the band through the tour. So he left and went to King Crimson.
So he would tour this and then move to Crimson?
Yep, but they were a little bit...
Why did he leave?
He was just kind of done. He felt like this all he could do with this band.
Got it.
And it was a pretty laborious process, a grueling recording process, and he found them he couldn't contribute anything more meaningful. So he decided to leave.
He contributed a whole hell of a lot.
He sure did. And then stepping into King Crimson's no cakewalk.
No, not at all. But I mean, he might have picked up the easiest role in Crimson.
Yeah, no doubt. But he did offer to stick around and do some of the tour, at least the first leg of the tour, and they said, nah. Wakeman's like, no.
Oh, this is that thing where you give the company 2 weeks and they just go ahead and fire you?
Yeah. But they kind of regretted that because these songs were composed and put together in the studio.
Yeah, he knows he it's not like someone charted them and handed you don't chart this.
Right.
It's obscene, and for anybody who's trying to get at what we're saying here,
simply
go give it a listen, and you don't have to listen very long to see how absolutely insane some of the drumming on this album is.
Yeah, well, all of the playing, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no role that you simply walk into here.
Right. So we mentioned 3 songs. It came out of the gate, reached number 3 on the Billboard Top 200 US.
Impressive,
because this is not. Like you said,
this ain't bubblegum.
This ain't bubblegum. Number 4 in the UK album charts, hit number 1 in the Netherlands. Received 450,000 advanced orders in the US alone before release.
Oh, goodness.
Certified gold in October of 72, just 7 weeks after release. And certified platinum much later, 1998, for 1 million US copies. I'm not sure what the final countdown is on this one. Let me just go really quick. Certifications. Yeah, million US is the latest numbers that we have on that.
Feels low.
It does feel low. But again, this is not a coffee table book.
No, not at all.
Very highly regarded in many places. Pitchfork, Guitar World named it one of the 100 greatest guitar albums of all time. I could see that.
Yep.
And yeah, I think that this obviously paved the path. We talked about this. We talked about mentioned a few more bands that were inspired. Kansas, Rush, of course.
Yep.
Marillion. I can't say Marillion without thinking of the Young Ones. If you know that thing.
Certainly don't.
Okay, we'll have to check out the Young Ones at some point.
No thanks.
And it's a British show about a bunch of losers who live in a house, basically. And ranked number 1 on Prog Magazine's list of the 100 greatest progressive rock albums of all time. I didn't know there was a Prog magazine.
I just progged all over myself.
Yeah. And yeah, this is kind of the apex of the classic lineup.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all of that checks out pretty nicely. It's kind of weird to think about the staff change-ups. That's the one that I think, hits me the most, just because these songs take each player to task so hard that this isn't slipping in, a new dude casually.
Right.
I feel, having heard it like so strongly, that like if the player who composed it wasn't in the room, I don't know that I want to go see it, like.
Yeah, it's crazy. I've seen live footage of this, and as complicated as this is, and it's always amazing because when you hear something, especially in this first track when we get to it, when you hear something as like bonkers and as almost agitated as it is,
that's a great word.
It seems like it would not look easy, but of course it has to be easy or you can't play it.
Yep.
And that's what's so amazing when you watch great players play, because they're like sleeping through it.
They can have a conversation while they do this.
Yeah, if they could.
All right. Well, we need all the energy we can get before we dive into the first and only track on the A side of this album. So we'll catch you right after this break.
Hi, how are you? I'm Ronnie Dobbins, and I want to introduce you to my new service offering, Ronnie Dobbins Face Punching Service. Imagine you're at dinner in the North End, and the bill comes and your buddy starts friggin' eye-rolling and belly-aching about tipping for the 42nd time. I don't do dialogue, and I ain't finding no common ground. I'm just gonna show up in a gray hoodie, walk up to the table, and deliver a friggin' right cross to his stupid mouth before he can finish the word gratitude. This is for the guy at the hardware store who looks at your P-trap and says, "That's one way to do it if you don't mind sewage in your kitchen." Or the neighbor who leaves his freaking trash cans out till Thursday while bitching about his 14 handicap.
I bogeyed on 4 holes.
Stupid prick. Or just some stupid prick who wears a jersey for the team he ain't even a fan of just to be contrarian. Mets freaking suck. For the smaller stuff, I offer an optional nut tap service. Maybe you got a coworker who keeps circling back to an idea you already shot down 3 times. He don't need no frickin' shiner. He just needs to have the wind knocked out of him. That ought to do the trick. I'll walk by his cubicle and deliver a crisp upward flick to his apple bag and keep on walking like I'm looking for the printer. But if you really want him to see the stars, go with a double take. I hit him once, walk all the way out to my car, put the key in the ignition, then realize I'm still annoyed on your behalf. I'll come back inside and level him with a second tap just in time as he's starting to stand up. Stop being the bigger person. Be the person who hires me. Ronnie Dobbins Face Punching Service. I'm right outside.
Makes you really wish you had a mom bod.
Better than a dad bod.
I don't know about all of that as the owner of a dad bod. I mean, I can feel like my heart attack coming on. But at the end of the day, I don't care. That's the difference.
It's a heart attack, Bob.
It is. Everyone needs to just slam himself in the chest. All right. Speaking of songs that you want to slam yourself in the chest. Welcome to the 4-part song. One could argue it's probably 8 parts, honestly, with all the transitions. Close to the Edge, the title track of the album. This tune is 18 minutes and 38 seconds long.
How many people have listened to this song?
This one, that's a great question. Let me expand my ticker right here. so I can see.
Okay, Bob. Oh, well, I'm watching Carl. This is good pod. Watching Carl have mouse problems.
I can't grip it. There we go. It okay, so yeah, this one is ranked at just under 3 million listens. It's actually the least listened to song on the album. Not surprised in the sense that it's a pretty lengthy and chewy listen.
Yeah. So this song is actually broken down into movements, like a symphony. We talked about Sibelius before. So there are 4 movements of this song. Some of the transitions are quite obvious, some maybe not so much.
Agreed. And some of them are their own musical ideas, which is why you have like 4 main movements and probably like a couple mini movements too, if you were to really audit it.
Yeah, and if you study classical music, that's very, very apropos that you'll have those sub movements. But I won't harp too much on classical music, but there's definitely like motive development, I should say, that occurs throughout this entire piece.
Absolutely.
You have your exposition, your recapitulation, like there's all this, all the things are there. Definitely the listening to Sibelius paid off because it's expressed in here, even though when this thing starts off, you have no idea where you are.
No, it's disorienting to say the least.
I mean, actually, well, you do know where you are. You're by a river because it just starts off with
like sounds of a meadow.
And it's quite beautiful.
Oh yeah, it's great. They really let you in, and it depends on what you're listening on too. The more hi-fi you can get, I promise you'll get a better situation. There is a stark difference between the speakers of a Subaru Forester and some Yamaha HS8s.
Correct. Or even AirPods.
Hey, AirPods were a great experience. I did probably a majority of my listens on them just as I moved around the house over the course of the week, and I have the one of the newer generations of AirPod, and it's just really, it does such a good job.
It's actually one of the cases with the AirPods that I appreciate I have AirPods, I think 4, I think it's the generation that I have, and they have a lot of bass enhancement that doesn't always work for me.
Yeah.
It works for this, but we can talk about that.
Well, it works for this probably because Chris Squire has a tone of his own.
Yes.
His bass is the least bassy bass. It's always just growly and aggressively sitting right up front. He plays it melodically with a ton of movement. And I think it's really easy to grasp that bass in some of the kind of audio systems we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you know I think he plays a Rickenbacker. I think that's what he's known for, as a Rickenbacker. And I
wouldn't be surprised because it sounds like a Rick.
Yeah. I don't know if he has were all Ricks stereo or have the stereo option?
I don't know that. The one I own, I had that 4003 Fireglow back in the day. I regret getting rid of. That one definitely had the option.
Yes. Yeah, most electric guitars or basses are mono by default, but the Rickenbacker goes to 11.
This one goes to left and right and straight and back. The song comes in and immediately it's like the first time you try sushi. Is the best way I can put it. You're like a little freaked out. Texturally, it's all over the place. It's got a ton of different flavors. You're probably overthinking it, but it all works.
Yeah. So here's what's interesting. So you have this bass line. It's like this 3-octave ascending bass line, which I think my ear puts this song. I sat down behind the piano, but this puts this song in like a D harmonic minor.
Yep.
But the bass does not start on D; it starts on E. And they keep trying to play with this, which essentially that would make it like an E Locrian with a natural 6.
Okay.
It still resolves to D, but the reason I believe that they're trying to do this Locrian thing is the guitar line is just like this 2-note melody, which is like E F A sharp, E F A sharp, which are that E and F is like, see, there's a minor second.
Yeah, rubbing.
Right. And when the bass line repeats, because it's a repeating bass line, it walks up the scale of, E, F, G, A, B, C sharp.
Yeah, I'd say it's a whole tone scale.
C sharp. And then it goes to D, and then when it hits the E again, it repeats the E. It's like, oh, here's Do. In case you don't know where Do is, I still hear Do is the D, but they're that's all happening. And so you have this like descending EF AA sharp. It's like a double stop. It's actually harmonized. It's not.
Yeah, I would say, but it feels double stoppy. It
Yeah.
feels very like Buckethead or Primacy.
Yeah, you. I don't think you play that unless you overdubbed it or you had a harmonizer.
I mean, he's got chops, dude. Who
Yeah.
knows? I feel like there's some accuracy. I'm not gonna call it issues, but like I can feel something in that playing that there's evidence that you would have played. It's over 2 parts.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is the song is pretty straight at this point, but he's swinging it.
Oh, of course. And that's funny because, as you start to get into that, the time signature of the song, the other item that you have to look at
Which one?
is the key. Well, exactly. The keyboard player isn't even playing anything that's, it's not supposed to be, it's more effect than it is like tonal.
Well, here's the thing. I sat down with it. So Chris Squire is playing this 8th note triplet. If we say, let's say we say the song, let's pretend the song's in 3/4.
Yep. I have it in, is this 3/4/6/8? Right? It could be
Yeah.
many other things too.
It might be 3/2.
Yeah, that's
Actually,
an opportunity.
Yes. 3/2 means the half note's getting the pulse. Is
Mm-hmm.
what I mean by that. And the reason you might write it in 3/2 is if you were to write this out, Rick Wakeman's part is actually 16th note triplets. And that would just be a lot of stuff. But if you listen really carefully, it's the exact same part that Chris Squire's playing as 8th note triplets.
Oh.
They're actually the same notes.
Texturally,
It just sounds like a mess.
It sounds like Morse code.
Yeah, it does. Because the patch he's got on is so
It's
like crisp.
biting and staccato, and he's sitting on this for not even a millisecond. It feels like it's just like
Yeah.
static.
Yeah. So I think that's the patch, but I actually slowed it down.
Oh,
Like,
that's-
it's like the same notes.
So beautifully dorky.
Yeah. I'm like, because it doesn't sound out, but it's it doesn't like sound like out of key.
It's like busy, for the sake of being busy.
Yeah, it's like bees flying around your head.
Yeah, it's wild. But when you listen to it on top of a pretty manic sounding drum part,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these like 16th note combinations flying around, a lot of like little triple-y things, not like jazz triples,
No.
more prog, straight, tick-a-dat,
Yeah.
type of feels, where it's almost more like 2/16 and an eighth, but there's just enough yuck in it,
Yeah.
to like push it off.
Yeah.
Chris Squire is the most grounded element of all of this.
Yeah,
Like you're kind of latching onto that bass
yeah.
line and experiencing the rest, like you're going into hyperspace.
Yeah. 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 It's crazy. And then as you're going along, surprise, we get some vocal ahs.
It's just this quick, ah,
Right.
and you're like, whoa.
And I heard that those ahs, because we're talking about Siddhartha, going out through this, we're supposed to represent meditative ohms.
Oh, how cool.
And what's
Because I
weird-
had it written as O.
Yeah. And it could be. And what's interesting is the first chord that they O on or ah on is an A minor, but this thing has all been in this D harmonic minor thing, which has a C sharp in it. So it's the first note it's actually out of key, which is another thing that makes it more abrupt. It's like why is this?
Yeah, it just hits you.
Right. And then they do it again.
But it's over the whole step up.
It's a B flat.
B flat. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So actually, sorry, it does an F sus4 and then it does a B flat.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, notable change. You feel like they're like playing with the idea of, what would be like modulation.
Yeah.
Not in like a traditional, like Motown modulation,
Right.
but just something that feels like it's a kind of go off the edge.
Right. But
Lars Volta is particularly good at doing this.
But they're walking there because once you finally hit like the 2-minute 53-second mark, that's where they hit the B flat vocal harmony, which leads you. We've been in this like harmonic minor to E Locrian thing. Now we're solid in D major.
Yep. And not only are we solid in D major, everybody kind of falls into a groove now.
Yeah.
You can't say that what we had before wasn't technically a groove. It just wasn't the groove for everybody.
Right.
But this one's a little more like pocket.
For
It's
sure.
setting up for a melodic idea, and you can sense that.
Yeah. And that melodic idea, to me, bounces between almost a classical theme with then a few jazzy things that get thrown in here. And that's where I hear the Alan Holsworth is when he changes that melodic phrasing, all of a sudden there's like, oh, where'd that note come from? Where'd that note come from?
Yep. There's also a notable timbre change.
Yeah.
Suddenly the keys take on a very different role. The guitar eases up on a little bit of its effect.
Yeah, it's like a mellotron.
Yep.
That's going on in the background there.
And so it's a lot of change. And you could make arguments that it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Or it perfectly fits in when we was eased into it. Both can be right in this circumstance.
Yep.
But it's kind of like it's tension and then release.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Yeah.
They let some air out of the balloon.
It's a really catchy melodic hook, which is good because what you just came from with that descending, melodic line and then just a bonkers solo.
Yep.
With the bumblebees flying around your head and
that's so fair.
Because it's a pastoral setting and now the bees just came in and attacked you while you're having your grape soda and your picnic basket or whatever's happening.
They also do one other thing here that I think sets it off, and make the argument that it was in 3/4, 3/2, 6/8, whatever you might want to make the argument for in the first.
They
half.
may be all doing them simultaneously to serve their needs.
Totally.
Yeah.
Now it falls into a pretty clear 6 groove. Now, what you want to call the denominator is totally up to you. In my mind.
Okay. I have a thought on that, but yeah.
But I don't hear it as 6. I hear it the same way you hear like Electric Feel. I hear it as 4/2, 4/2, because there's always these accent pieces after a bar of 4.
Yeah.
Is that how you're hearing it too?
I hear it as the band. So the song actually kind of goes like almost like a 12/8 thing, and then we're about 3/58, and this is where it's a 6/4 or 3/4. And the way I kind of feel is
I like the 6/4 here.
I feel the band's in 3/4 and Jon is singing in 6.
Yeah, I mean, and since he's kind of like the subject,
yeah.
But here's the other piece here, and the reason I play the 6/4 is our drummer is tagging everything.
Yes.
So you kind of get like a groove on the 3/4, blah, 1, 2, da, and it's always coming back to some sort of fill on a 2-bar fill after a 4-bar phrase.
Right.
Or
4
beat phrase. Sorry.
Yeah.
Beat, not bar. But it's whatever it is. It's something that you can really grab onto.
Yeah.
Because they'll do that now. They'll actually live on this groove and similar grooves to this one throughout the course of the album. This is like a signature feel for them.
Yeah. Not to put us in the same light, but when we did this, in our band, when we did the song With You, the chorus was in 6/4, but we really didn't try to make it sound like it was in 6/4.
No,
we really tried to make it like flow through the bar line.
Yeah, we were inspired by that Soul Life song a little bit, Freedom.
Yep.
But we had a little bit more. We were looking to twist its arm a little bit.
Yep.
And it's fun to do, but I guess what I'm saying is as you move from the first movement into the second movement, which is called a Total Mastertain.
Yeah, and so the transition hits when they finally introduce the Close to the Edge theme.
That's right.
So Close to the Edge down by the river is this. I'm right here by the river. I'm not quite ready to go over the edge to transition. So this is the second movement. So the first movement, did we say the name of it?
Oh, no, I don't think we did.
So the first movement is called The Solid Time of Change.
There we go.
The second movement is called Total Mass Retain.
And so what we've gotten here is we've tightened up into this pocket for all the reasons we just spoke about.
Yeah.
And it's really, really wild. We've now gone through this nice transition, which is cool. It has a groove. Now we're going to an even cooler groove, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
This is probably one of my favorite musical moments on this entire work, all 18, almost 19 minutes of it.
Yeah.
And there's so many elements that pop out to me and sounds that I'm like, oh, I bet so-and-so stole this from here.
Right, yeah. And what's cool, so we have to talk about the bass and drum groove.
Yes.
Right. So the tempo is actually cooking pretty good. This is where it could be 3/2 because it's the da-da, da-da, right? And I believe that the tempo is up here, so those are 8th notes, not 16th notes.
Yeah.
And what's so cool, so you have the ba-da, 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 rest, ba. And what's so cool is when they have those upbeats, it's the same damn rhythm, they're just not playing the first one.
Yep.
Right? So if you're You're doing this. Ba-da, 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 ba-da. Well, right?
Yep.
I'm just missing the
You
first.
simply missed the first of the two note series.
But because the way Bill and Chris are hitting it, it's so tight and it's shut off. It's almost like they tripped.
Yeah. And it's reminiscent of kind of like a horn line too. Some of like the fun accents that you can get out of it. No, they play together so beautifully, which is why once again I'm kind of confused or befuddled that he drummed this album and then was like,
and tapped out.
I'm good. And I'm like, the hell?
I know.
How are they gonna do this without you?
And Chris's bass tone is just so beautiful. It's fat and thick and meaty, and
I'm convinced that Chris's bass tone directly influenced Flea.
oh sure.
I'm convinced. That's the closest modern I can find to this. Because this is, I know a lot of guys who play bass, and I know a lot of guys who, whether I tell it to their face or not, like lead bass players and like want that. This is a hell of a way to go about that. That growly, beautiful, upfront, lot of movement. But that's what you end up getting with a guy like Flea.
Yeah. I don't know if Flea ever played a Rick. I don't remember. That's not what he's known
No,
for.
he's known for playing a Fender and then a Music Man.
Yep. That's his main thing when he was the Music Man for years. But
yeah, and he also spent a hell of a lot of time on a J bass, and so like it's somewhere in that realm. I don't think you needed it per se,
no, I'm just curious. I'm just trying to think if he ever did.
but this is just aggressive upfront sound.
Yeah.
Chris really is one of the melodic leaders in this band, honestly, and I think it's what makes it extra fun to listen to for me.
Yeah.
Anything else on the second movement?
Yeah. So the hook, close to the edge, down in the corner. It's so cool the way they've got it phrased because it's like a 3-4-4-4, 3-4-4-4, 5-4, which rounds out to 8. Once you
end up getting it, yeah.
You end up getting your 8, but because it's the close to the edge, down at the river.
Yep.
And then it's the final turnaround that's in this 5-4 thing, so it just keeps extending the phrase. So you have short phrase, long phrase, longer phrase. It just feels, and it sounds like they're slowing down, but they're not. Not at all.
And let's talk about vocal performance. So this is the first time on the album you're going to hear besides twice.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit! Now we have singer enters the already busy landscape.
Yes.
And the technique that they use to get him up and over is build massive vocal walls.
Yeah.
On everything.
Yep.
On everything in this song.
Yeah. And his lyrical and vocal phrasing is so cool, especially when you get over, even though that the one end, 3 end rhythm we talked about is actually fairly straightforward, but he has this ba 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 ba. It's going over that.
It's nice. And the funny part is it's syncopated, not swung.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine trying to perform that and not swinging it.
Yeah.
So really, really, they all got big brass balls at this point, and everybody's really holding down their lines.
Yeah.
And they're playing. I mean, this is a very tricky dance.
Sure.
There's not a lot of sonic space, and they're all navigating it.
Yeah. And then this movement starts to end with this beautiful bass and keyboard and guitar counterpoint.
I agree. I said it was fugue-like, but I'll save that word for later.
Yeah, that comes later.
The counterpoint's fantastic. This nice little intertwine there.
Yep.
And it goes to show you they can take it down to kind of a fun groovy pocket. They can support a singer, and then everybody becomes a soloist again.
Yeah. So then we move into movement number 3, which is I get up, I get down. So, I mean, where do you even start? Like now we're like in this E Mixolydian thing that we're going back and forth and we're bouncing around. We hit this like 4 minor chord, and they were heavily, heavily influenced by the Beach Boys, and you get that with their vocal harmonies.
It's the undeniable sequence here. So it starts off by creating kind of like a key landscape.
Yeah.
The keyboard player, this is his time to shine. Big ways, swirling
Many
effects,
ways.
stereo, all around the place. And to recognize the Beach Boys, what you end up with is kind of, for the first time, vocals that are still stacked, multiple voices, panned hard, kind of passing by you, your right ear, your left ear, different levels of depth, different levels of reverb used.
Yeah.
In this very heady space. It's like someone shoved a fishbowl over your head for a second.
Yep. Yeah.
Except that second is 3 minutes long.
Yeah. For sure.
And they're doing some fun musical things too. You're getting some Mixolydian licks now, vocally, that are, sound very Beach Boys.
Yep. So Mixolydian, since it's a nerdy term, we'll slow it down for a second. You're used to a major scale.
Oh, and after all the shit you've been saying, you just called Mixolydian the nerdy term?
Well, 3444, we've talked so much about mixed meter on this, and we've talked about Mixolydian before. If you know a major scale, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la,
You
ti,
went
do.
minor harmonic into Locrian.
Oh, I did say that. I did say that. Yeah. You're going to have to Google Locrian Natural 6.
Have fun with that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Speaking of Locrian, Adam Neely has an awesome video on trying to make songs in Locrian. It's a really difficult mode to make anything interesting in.
This was he put that media out a few years ago.
Yeah.
It's a really, really awesome video.
Yeah, and it's really hard to make something sound good or make it stick in Locrian, which is what I talked about before. Locrian, if you don't know, every scale, if you have a major scale, you have modes. So if I have a C scale, which is all the white keys on a keyboard, starting on C, not
notably.
If I start on D, I'm playing D Dorian. If I start on E, I'm now playing E Phrygian. If I'm playing F, I'm doing F Lydian. G Mixolydian. So bands that you may know who play a lot of Mixolydian, AC/DC, known for a lot of Mixolydian.
Grateful Dead.
Dead.
For a lot of Mixolydian.
Yeah. So all that is a major scale with the seventh note of the scale flattened.
Yep. So it sounds more complicated than it is, but the funny part is to get all the way to Locrian, you have to get to the seventh note of the scale, which would be playing in the key of C, the B pattern.
As the root note.
As the root. And it makes it, we designed car horns to be a half step up part because it catches the human ear.
Yeah.
This ain't that far off.
Yeah, so the root chord of a Locrian scale is a diminished chord.
Yes, it is.
Which is not the happiest sounding chord.
It's a very confusing sounding chord.
But Mixolydian is more upbeat.
It is, and it can be used in many ways. Anyway, this is definitely, if you look at the fact that we started the song off in kind of like chaos, and then we moved into something that was more like groove and pocket set and singer forward. Now we're sitting in a new sonic space with a whole different singing style that's very reminiscent of a style we haven't touched yet. You're 12 minutes into this album going, the hell did I inherit?
Right. Yeah.
Because if you've never heard Yes before, this is so wild.
Or if you only know Owner of a Lonely Heart.
Yeah, there you go.
This is not going to be that song.
Precisely.
Favorite line in here is, how old will I be when I come of age? I think that's a clever line in there. So we're playing along in this space. You have this vocal counterpoint. You're talking to stack things. And then comes in the pipe organ.
Oh, my God. The subtle pipe organ.
It's a real pipe organ.
I would bet. And I'll tell you what, they got every dollar out of that recording and every decibel, too.
Yeah. So it's recorded at St. Giles without Cripplegate Church in London. So
is that next to Church of the Virgin with the Hip Hop Eggs Festival?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yes. From
across the street, Caddy Corner.
Yeah. If you haven't seen that movie, it's a fantastic movie. I think like a couple episodes ago, we talked about the movie Murder Bunny.
Yeah. If you haven't checked out Murder Bunny yet,
it's streaming on Tubi.
Vimeo. We'll take sponsors for both.
Yeah.
I don't know how Tubi's going to pay you. Aren't they free? So you end up with this. You're going back and forth now. You're still living in the keyboard player's fantasy land.
Yeah, except like the hair on these chords, you have this E, an E with an F sharp minor 7 flat 5 with the E in the bass. It's like there's a lot of hair on some of these chords.
Oh, it's insane. It's chest shaking. It's loud. It's the kind of thing where I'm like, do I like this? I think I do, and I love the dynamic approach.
Yes.
But you've been, he's not stuck there with you. You're stuck there with him.
Yes. Now, I appreciate the dynamic shift that comes in to some extent. I do think the producer could have just dialed that back like a dB or two.
He had a rage boner for that recording. He was so
Yeah.
happy. He was going to make sure you heard it.
Yeah. That's a little bit tough, but I think it's fantastic. And how cool that they obviously had to piece that in. That wasn't like recorded live in the studio.
Oh, no, not at all. And so that's a little song and dance. I mean, now is as good a time as any ever to say this far into the album, 14-ish minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, production-wise, this is really impressive.
It is. I'll just get my one complaint about most Yes music out when it comes to production. And it's not really production. It's more arrangement. You have Jon Anderson with a pretty high timbre voice. You have Rick Wakeman playing keyboards, and you have Steve Howe playing guitar. And they tend to arrange in the same frequency space very often. And to me, it gets overwhelming. So you could say, oh, it's an EQ problem. It's not necessarily always an EQ problem. You can fatten an arrangement just by making sure you drop things down out of the same octave. And sometimes there are parts on this album and other stuff I've heard by Yes where they're doing some intricate stuff, but they're kind of stepping on each other's toes sonically.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my biggest complaint about Yes as a band, right? In general, every once in a while, I had a friend in college who forced me to listen to this album, and I enjoyed it and enjoying it, but he was into it, and the speaker source we had, it was like in his dorm room, and he had like this crappy boom box. I'm like, I guess it's fine. Didn't sound great to me, but when I think about it, it's mostly the arrangement layers, even though they're all impressive, sometimes they conflict with each other sonically.
I don't disagree, but rarely are they bricked. And by bricked, I mean like...
Oh, it's not...
Sometimes you get so much mess there that you can't hear the sound source.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear all the sound sources fighting, and it sounds like they're fighting. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And so, yes, could they have arranged themselves and chose some different voicings that would probably be a little kinder to each other's space and had probably a more a less lumpy soundscape?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Did they? No.
They did not.
And I can, but can I still hear everything?
Yes.
I can somehow.
Right. That's why it's not a production problem.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very odd.
It's an arrangement, quote unquote, problem. It's the only thing that for years when I'm like, I'm not sure why I don't like Yes more. And it wasn't until I was really digging into this album, like, that's what it is. It's the fact that they're in the same,
I wonder if a remaster, would help on that. I'm positive it would.
It's a minor complaint, but it's...
Yeah. Hey, look, if they have the solo stems, we can do magic.
Yeah.
I'd love that. I'd probably end up like jumping in traffic. No way, man.
Yeah.
I don't want that project.
Yeah.
So this takes us into our fourth and final movement.
Well, not until we actually go back into the intro
right.
hook.
We go into the intro hook first.
Right. So then we have, there's so much more because we have a Moog that comes in after that. We're in outer space for a minute.
Yep.
And then we get
Did I jump it? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you jumped it.
What's
Yeah.
the timestamp on last movement?
So
because I never looked those
the
up.
last one was 14:12. We're still around the 12-minute mark right now. So we have the church organ followed by a Moog that comes in, takes
Yep.
the outer space.
Yep.
Then we revisit the introduction from the first thing,
That's right.
recapitulation.
Uh-huh.
Then we get this 3/4/6/4 groove
Oh, that's
with
right.
a Hammond organ solo.
We get that freaking huge saw synth that comes through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whee!
Yep.
And by the way, we're still in keyboard land there.
Yep.
He's still running the show.
Yeah.
At first I was like, is that? And you listen to some of the movement after that long draw and you're like, no, that's you.
Yep. Now the second movement comes back in. So we
Mm-hmm.
had with the first movement recapitulation, we have the solo. Second movement comes back in, but there's a interlude that introduces a key change. And we finally land. So we started in E. We finally land in the key of C towards the end, which is almost like this hair sort of Age of Aquarius feel.
It does. It has this massive lifting feel to it. It's setting the listener up to anticipate something.
Yep.
But based upon our track record so far, we have no effing clue where this is going.
No, and we start in E mix lane, we finish in the key of F, where we then go into the final movement, which is Seasons.
of Man.
Yep. So now it's, again, recapitulation of the main theme, signaling return to the river,
Yep.
right? And I don't know. This is where it's classical. Like, even though some of these licks, there's some jazzy chords in here.
Do not graze over the best musical moment in the song.
Go.
The shredding keyboard solo.
Yeah.
That's not classical at all.
No, that's not. I'm talking classical in structure.
Yes, it is in structure.
Yes.
15-minute mark, we inherit an ass-kicking keyboard solo.
Yes, you do.
And a killer band behind it really holding it up too.
Yeah.
Notably the rhythm section.
Yes. Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
This felt to me, I was like, oh yeah. Our favorite act, Snarky Puppy, definitely has sniffed around that fire hydrant before.
They sure have, yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of which, we're seeing them on Monday, man.
We're seeing them on
Yes.
Monday. I cannot wait.
Oh yeah. But the groove here, this is the most funky they felt so far.
Yeah.
Not because of only smoking keyboard playing, but as I mentioned, just a really cool. And it's not just like they're playing some boring, 3 on E type thing.
No.
They're hitting together. There's still great like bass runs going on. The drum chops are fat.
Yep.
It's really, really impressive.
Yeah. No, it's like the reason I call it classical in its execution is it's clearly set up to be the finale.
Yeah.
Right? Like Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, the Ode to Joy. I don't know how familiar you are with the Ninth Symphony, but you know the Ode to Joy.
Very well.
But I don't know how well you know that last movement.
I know everything. So that last movement was played a la, it was every night at Sunset in Ocean City.
Okay.
At which one of the bars? One of the big ones.
Okay.
And so you listen to the entirety of the thing as the sun went down.
Okay. So the last movement, it starts off with like this hairy chord, right?
Yep.
That's how it starts off. And as the fourth movement of the Ninth Symphony, Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, comes in, you start hearing before the Ode to Joy melody that everyone knows, ba da 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 da. That melody, before that comes in, you get hints of the previous movements.
Mm-hmm.
And then the orchestra comes in, and like, so it starts coming in with the da 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 da. That's the first movement, and then the band comes in and like stomps on it. The rest of the orchestra comes in and stomps on it. And there's all these different pieces of it, and I get hints of that. Not nowhere near as obvious in this, but that's one of the cool things to me about that, because the Ode to Joy is out with the old and in with the new is the whole purpose, I guess, supposedly of that movement, and Beethoven does it by stepping on everything else you just heard for the past like 35 minutes, right? Because it's a long symphony.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, so I get bits of that in here, even though they're bringing it back. They're not introducing a new thing.
No, but the callbacks are there.
Yeah.
No, it's really wonderful, frankly, because we're now a fourth space.
Yeah.
And so to have those reminders, they're actually one of the only things that can anchor your listening experience. When I was taking my notes on this, it was really challenging. You just have to do it in bites. And so to have moments like that, it's almost like a save point in a video game.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, you talked about the keyboards. I mean, keyboards are doing this polytonal thing. Guitar's in a different key.
Yep.
It's not even the same key.
Yep.
I didn't sit down to figure out what it,
yeah,
but they're not
I have that at 1630.
Yeah.
Literally everybody's in their own key. That's what it says.
Yeah.
But then you end up with the saving grace out of nowhere is the vocals come back in.
Right.
And that's what kind of carries you back through.
Yeah. That's where the Ode to Joy is, because of that thing with that hairy chord at the very beginning. That's the most dissonant chord in like classical music. By classical, I mean the classical era, not music played with orchestra. Yeah. So anyway, keep going. But
no, that's pretty much what it comes down to for me. The musicianship here is just flying. I mean, every single person is really firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
By now, the one thing you can figure out, if you're not hip to Yes yet, is you can pretty much kind of hear what everybody's into.
Yeah.
Chris might be the easiest nut to crack, he's just going to be a ever-present, right down the middle, busy, lick-filled bass guy who also has a bunch of cool syncopated lines he's happy to go play with Chris, right, the drummer?
Bill
Sorry.
Bruford.
And then Bill's whole thing is, how many notes can I play per second? No shit. Like, I mean, honestly, like, it's not about being busy. It's about, can I subdivide this beat to the, like, I'm going to play every 16th and even 32nd I can get out.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a permanent wall. It just sounds like you're in like a BB gun shooting range.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But him and Chris lock up.
Yep.
And just will catch these hits together, and you're just like, what? And then Hal starts just showing off this bag of tricks that's not song appropriate, yet it still works.
Yep.
This movement is where
he doesn't care. Yeah.
You start to hear some flat fives and like a blues use rather than like a prog use.
Yep.
And I'm there for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really wild.
And then we finish where we started.
We do indeed on the same thing. The good old I get up, I get down line, which anchors us.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
You know, the fourth movement stands out to me as, you know, I think the most interesting piece, but it wouldn't exist without all of its predecessors.
Right.
It took a while to get there. But this song was at first mind-boggling for listens 1 through 3.
Yep.
Then it was a task for listens 4 through 7 per se. And then in the last few, I really came around to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it's because I started looking at it in movements and not as I got to eat the whole thing in one bite.
Yeah. You really have to. I find this song joyous. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, me too. This went from probably what would have been my third favorite song on the album to it rose at least a rank.
Yeah.
And it's hard to choose, frankly, because spoiler alert, but I like this album in its entirety.
Yep.
This tune though is so dense, but in a way, because you can look at it in 4 pieces, it actually is the least dense. It makes more sense to me.
Right.
Is that weird?
Which is weird. So we've talked about Chris Squire's like meaty bass tone.
Yep.
We talked about Bill's impeccable playing. We've talked about Steve Howe kind of going off the reservation in many ways. What's so funny in Jon Anderson's voices and Wakeman's like bumblebees and all that sort of stuff. So just a thought experiment. Based on what you hear of the band, who do you think the tallest band member is?
If this is a trick question, you have to say it's the singer.
It's not a trick question.
Okay.
It's exactly probably what you think it is.
Is it Chris?
Chris Squire,
It's
6'4". He's like,
yeah.
He's got to be a beast.
Plays
to
like
play.
he is.
He plays like he's 6'4".
I love that.
Jon Anderson's like 5'5".
Okay, yeah. I'm thinking about like the dude from the Scorpions who literally is the size of a scorpion.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, because he's got that high ass little voice.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
And there's a reason you put 20 of them into one
Yeah.
wall.
So Chris Squire Chris
Squire makes perfect sense.
He's
to
a
me.
Squire.
That's who I'd choose. Yeah, it's just like he's playing like like no F's given. Like I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
And you gotta kind of have that. You know.
Yeah.
It's the thickest for sure. I love that.
Yeah. All right. Should we? Anything else to say on this song?
Yeah, I mean, just when you look at the whole thing together, it's the way I need to say it is the first movement was designed to intimidate you.
Mm-hmm.
I really believe that now. Because you start to see the soft belly as this thing develops.
Yeah.
So for those who are giving this a first time listen, do not be intimidated. You can understand this. You don't need to have all the stupid terminology we're talking about in order to enjoy this. It's going to be a really odd and crazy sensation for a few listens. But I promise you, once you look at it the way that we've interpreted it, which is through movements and seeing how each one harbors in the next, and then you can see the thing as a whole. You can pull back to 10,000 feet. and look down on it, it's a stellar piece of music.
Yeah. I look at it as like, if you ever auditioned for a band and then got into the band and really enjoyed being in the band, the audition usually wasn't the most fun part.
No, you were probably stressed as hell.
If you had a job that you like, was the job interview the most fun part?
Never.
So just think of this as your job interview when you start off the song, and eventually you're going to like the place you work because it's got a good group of people you're working with.
Yeah, you'll be a better.
But you're going to have to work.
You'll be a better music. Yeah, you'll be a better musical ear having
Yeah.
gone through this exercise. I promise you that.
Yeah.
All right, let's grab a break.
All right.
This week in music. This is your Backwards Beats Week in Music for September 13-ish, 1973. In a year that witnessed the formation of acts ranging from AC/DC to Devo, Blind Faith to Journey, Kansas to Kiss and Quiet Riot, the charts remain dominated by a different set of veterans and hitmakers. Here's the countdown of the top 10 singles for the week of September 13th, 1973. At number 10, the Allman Brothers Band with Ramblin' Man. Moving up to number 9, The Stories with Brother Louie. At 8, War continues its run with Gypsy Man. Number 7 is Elton John's Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. Coming in at 6, Diana Ross with Touch Me in the Morning. At 5, Stevie Wonder with Higher Ground. Number 4 sees Helen Reddy with Delta Dawn. Holding the number 3 spot, Paul Simon with Loves Me Like a Rock. At number 2, Marvin Gaye with Let's Get It On. And the number 1 song in the country for the week of September 13th, 1973, Grand Funk Railroad with We're an American Band. In late July, an estimated 600,000 fans descended on the Watkins Glen Grand Prix circuit for the Summer Jam. The one-day event featuring the Grateful Dead, the Allman Brothers, and the band broke attendance records, signaling a move towards the era of the mega festival. Meanwhile, David Bowie ended an epoch in July, retiring his Ziggy Stardust persona at the Hammersmith Odeon, while Led Zeppelin wrapped a record-breaking North American summer tour. Zeppelin's trek saw the band traveling in the Starship, a private Boeing 720, and shattering box office records previously held by the Beatles. The music industry suffered 2 major losses within 24 hours. Graham Parsons, the 26-year-old pioneer of cosmic American music and former member of the Byrds, was found dead in room 8 of the Joshua Tree Inn. The following day, the news broke that Jim Croce was killed in a plane crash in Natchitoches, Louisiana. Croce, whose Bad Bad Leroy Brown hit number 1 earlier in the year, was 30 years old. Tensions within the Allman Brothers Band reached a fresh plateau as Greg Allman reportedly requested a formal audit of the band's nomadic bona fides. Sources close to the keyboardist suggested that he's increasingly agitated that guitarist Dickie Betts is getting all the credit for being the group's Ramblin' Man. The dispute allegedly came to a head during a rehearsal in Macon, where Greg noted that while Betts was busy writing chart-topping hits about life on the road, Greg was the one actually putting in the hours, feeling miserable in the back of the tour bus. The band reached a tenuous settlement. Betts is allowed to continue singing about the road, provided Greg is granted a 5-minute head start to every bar to ensure he looks the most weary upon the rest of the band's arrival. That has been your Backwards Beats Week in Music for the week of September 13th-ish, 1973. And don't forget to salt your melons.
One of my favorite things, it's springtime, even though it's been very cold.
Yes.
And even though I don't like yard work, I do like going out and every once in a while seeing the ladybugs.
Ah, caterpillars. I don't mind your little ladybugs.
No.
You know what I haven't seen in a long time though?
What's that?
I feel like I used to see them all the time as a kid. There's like caterpillar nests.
Mm.
Like you get
Is it gypsy
deep
moths?
enough, and there's like that massive hanging freaking white sack.
Ugh.
And then there's like 500 of those fools fall out. Oh my God.
Yeah, I remember I was on a bus ride from Massachusetts to Florida. I'm in high school. It was for a band. We were playing at
Disney World.
Yeah. And one of the buses kind of broke down in Savannah, Georgia. And we all had to hop onto one bus. And Savannah was having like a gypsy moth outbreak. And we've been driving all night. So everyone's like in their jammies on the bus or whatever, like walking up barefoot. And the ground was just covered with caterpillars. No matter where you walked, it was almost impossible. Like when you walked to the other bus, we all had to condense 2 buses onto one. We're all like sitting on each other's laps, going from Savannah, Georgia to Orlando.
Yeah, that's not good.
Not good. But to get to the other bus, we had to like walk the caterpillar gauntlet.
Oh no!
It was like 5 a.m. We're all
dead
groggy.
caterpillars in your already overcrowded bus.
Well, they were live crawling all over the.
Not anymore,
No,
bro.
No, they're like squeaking between your toes. It was.
Yeah.
Yum.
Not into that. All right.
So
well,
speaking of caterpillars,
and you and I.
Song number 2, side 2.
Side 2 of this 3-song album.
Yes.
And you and I, 10 minutes, 8 seconds.
Yes.
Notably shorter than its predecessor.
And I think this is the banger on the album.
According to the stats, it was 9 million-ish.
Yeah.
Closely followed by 7.
Correct.
And so,
yep.
But yes, definitively, if you were to look at numbers alone.
This is a change of everything.
Yes, I was gonna say like, the word vibe seems to be heavily overused nowadays, but
thanks to AI,
it is it's unhinged.
It is
But
absolutely
the entire feel and everything you thought you knew about this band coming out of the first tune. Chuck that aside. We're gonna try some new stuff.
For sure. I mean, the song starts with Steve Howe checking his tuning.
Yes, he does. Using harmonics.
Yep. Bunch of E harmonics.
All over the place.
All over the place, up and down the neck. Okay.
Acoustic.
12-string.
Yeah, so we're to change the instrument out in its entirety.
Yeah. It's funny because since the harmonics are mostly E's, the song starts off in D.
There we go. There we go, baby.
It's nice that it's left in, and even his okay, like we're good.
Yep.
It's left in. We're doing that, and it's really nice because. Do you think is this 1-4-5 with a D pedal, or is that because we're in D? I think it's D G A is what we're hearing, but sometimes because that D pedal, it almost feels more like a D major 7. Because of the voicing, because that like that C sharp, the major 7 of the D is on top.
So the pedal thing that you're getting here was so 70s, right? Like, I mean, Fleetwood Mac made a career doing this same thing.
Yeah.
And so you could ask the same question. You could simplify it as 1-4-5. I prefer to listen to it of the light of the major 7 chord.
Right. Me too.
Because if you listen to some of the vocal lines that they sing, it heavily plays around that arpeggio.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what it feels like. It feels like, I do feel like he's hitting that G chord in the middle of it. I feel like I hear the G in there, but yeah, it feels more like he's walking D in different inversions.
Exactly. I see the G as more of like a tool for movement.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a little campy in that sense. But
we're in the country.
They execute it well.
Yeah.
They execute it well. It's about as folky as Yes can get.
Yeah.
But it's well executed. The singing pulls back a little bit. I mean, this has whispers of a lot of different genres. It has like some of the more like chill Zeppelin-y type of feels and moments to it.
Yep. So a little bit of Crosby, Stills and Nash.
Totally. And like think like soft London and an everything California Valley.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a fair assessment, right? And that would make sense, being, they're from London, and makes sense seeing as how influential everything, Mamas and Papas, Monkeys, and everything coming out of the Valley were to that next level of rock and roll.
Yeah.
And you saw bands, you watched Beach Boys and Beatles, play ping pong. Who's got the better idea here?
Yeah.
You can see them kind of flirting with a lot of different genres and making it their own.
Yep. Essentially, this is a folk song. It was initially entitled The Prophet, but I feel like Chord of Life feels better to me. The Prophet, I mean, Rick Wakeman notoriously wore like a cape live in concert, so prophet is appropriate from like your dork perspective.
Yeah, there you
know?
go.
Yeah.
I cast 5 poison on you.
Yeah. Your charisma +3 charisma.
Oh no. This song really clicks for me at about the 3-minute mark. It's a little less spacey and jerky offy, and it kind of starts to solidify.
Yeah. Now this is another one where I believe the music is in 3/4.
This one I'm way more willing to concede to the 3/4.
But Jon is singing in 6, and the reason I say it's in 6 is he has 2-bar phrases.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because he comes in on the end of one of the phrase and then sings over the bar line and lands on beat 1.
Which is funny because it on a grid, you could make it work with the simple slide there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you wouldn't want the presentation any other way. It's almost like they set the chord,
Yeah.
there's the message.
Yep.
And I'm not done saying it by the time we want to set the next chord.
Yeah. It's really nice that even though 3/4 and 6/4 are the same time signature, it's just how you write it and phrase it. But the music is definitely phrased like.
It just feels a little more blocky.
Yeah.
And in a good way, in a way that fits the genre.
Yeah. Well, I think of 3 as more circular than blocky.
Okay. I find
feel
it triangular.
Sure.
You like that?
I do.
Isosceles. The really cool thing that happens next though is that how they fold instruments into it.
Yeah.
And so like for instance, I think Chris's intro is really nice.
Yeah.
It's still like wildly aggressive tone considering
Given how
the
gentle the
timbre
12
of
string is, yeah.
song. Yeah. But it wouldn't be yes if it wasn't, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, around 3. You said 3 minutes is what you like.
Kind of like that 3 to 4:30 growth.
Yeah. So around the 3 and change, you get this lovely like sustained chord. When we switch to about 3:47 is when the eclipse part 2 comes in.
Got it.
So there's definitely a transition at that 3-minute mark that's happening.
That okay, good. That's a nice way. But is it officially called the eclipse?
Yep.
Okay, that's good to know. I didn't have that note.
Yep. And really defined by Rick Wakeman's like mellotron, which is like the sweeping sort of symphonic kind of like almost a wall of sound,
Yeah, you end up it's like a self
but a good wall of sound.
chorus and like a detuner all in one.
Yeah.
Really, really tasteful. It's a great way to stack effect on a song where I feel like I could have easily prejudged a song. In fact, I'll just go ahead and admit that I did. This song lost my interest after listening 2 or 3 initially.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just because I was sitting in such a sonic pool of WTF after Close to the Edge.
Right.
It's just tough to series listen to them because they're so different.
Actually, I broke up my listening very, very intentionally because the first song requires so much of your attention. And very often when we listen to these albums, I listen to an album beginning to end.
Run it in series.
Run in series. And I'd spent so much time breaking down that first one. I'm like, the last like 3 or 4 times I listened to this album, I just started on song 2 so I could give it like fresher ears because
There's a fairness factor. We
Yeah.
talked about this, but maybe not exactly at this angle before, which is like, why does Dan rarely make it to the back half of albums after listen 7?
Mm-hmm.
Because the fatigue is real when you start every album in order.
Right.
But there's the whole idea of arc or album craft too. You want to respect in the storytelling vein, so you have to listen in order.
Yeah.
It's a conundrum.
It's really only a conundrum when you're trying to say anything intelligent about an album for an audience.
That's right. When we're overanalyzing it.
Yeah, this is not a hard listen in any way, shape, or form if you're just sitting down to listen to this as a piece of art, in my opinion. But
No, I'm with you with it entirely.
yeah.
So you spend, I don't know, another 2 minutes transitioning through the eclipse, one may say.
Yeah, it goes from 3:47 to 6:12.
Mm-hmm.
Lyrics really kind of emphasize more the sense of awe and insignificance of man.
Yep.
Kind of vibe in this section. It's really the shift that this is like the bridge.
It is. And there's kind of like a forward motion here.
Yeah.
I love the instrumentation here. This is, favorite musical moment of the song. You start to hear some really cool things that either were influences or did influence.
Yep.
We're starting to get back into that place where there's kind of some more groovy guitar licks
Yeah.
rather than these like precise operator guitar licks.
Yep.
Keys are doing a fun job as well.
Yeah.
Cycling through some really neat sounds. I heard some very different patches in this section.
Yeah.
There's an electric piano patch I really like. I can't put my finger on. It's not a Rhodes. It's not a Whirly. It's not overly distorted. It's just something else.
Yeah. The main thing I got was the Mellotron, but there's definitely some other stuff in here. This also has some pedal steel.
It does indeed.
Yeah.
Or it could be lap steel, unless you know for a fact
It's
that it's a
pedal
pedal steel player.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. It's a Showbud Pro 1 pedal steel guitar.
Man, I played in a guy with a band for a couple of years. Guy Dave Hadley. Shout out to you, Dave, if you're around. He's either in Northern Maryland or Southern Pennsylvania. But that guy
Yeah.
played a show bud.
Yep.
That's a respectable steel right there.
Yeah. And this is, again, bouncing around through keys. Mostly we're in E major. We do get some Mixolydian, and then we get a little bit of a couple modulations. It's not particularly complex, but the tonal centers shift around.
Mm-hmm.
But as we go through this is like the slowest part of the song, like most, like, I don't know, stately, if you will.
Stately's a great word.
Yeah. And this part was actually composed by Bill Bruford.
How about that?
Yeah. Drummers can compose. Did you know that?
I've heard rumors.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I always find it crazy when I see that. So, like, I guess the most recent drummer composition I watched or attended was last year, maybe during the winter. I saw Nate Smith over at Keystone Corner, and he had Christian McBride with him.
Yeah.
But it was Nate's compositions.
Yep.
Though he did this one thing where he rolled through, and he had a keyboard player. It breaks my heart. I can't tell you his name. White dude with glasses, kind of a real egghead looking guy who's well known in the scene. And then a killer trumpet player I never heard of before. And so Nate grabbed one of each of their three compositions for the second set.
Oh, that's cool.
So they
Yeah.
got to showcase his stuff, but then he was like, look at my freaking band. They're amazing.
Yeah.
We're going to do one of each of theirs.
Yeah.
And it was just like so vast to see the styles and what they cherished inside of, a composition.
Right.
So thoughtful. Got a lot of respect for Nate Smith.
Yeah. He's also the chairman of the Newport Jazz Festival.
That's so wonderful.
Yeah.
That's so wonderful.
Yeah.
He's also, most importantly, the drummer of Fearless Flyers.
He sure is. He sure is. Anything else on Eclipse before we move into the final movement?
No.
The only other thing that I'll say about here is there's like a cadenza at the end of this song.
George Cadenza?
A little bit. Actually, no. This one. Sorry, I have that wrong. My note. I scrolled too far on my notes. This is the one. It ends where we begin with the 12-string acoustic guitar part from the beginning, which then segues into movement number 3, which is the preacher, the teacher.
And that's the name of the movement? God, I didn't know that.
Yeah. The song starts off with Howe beginning this theme, this 3/4 meter, with a lot more of like this polyphonic guitar part, with like these offbeat chords. Then you have Wakeman coming in with like the Moog.
It was so funny. You and I were talking earlier
Yeah.
about the Artemis launch and the dark side of the moon and the quotes there.
Yep.
Do you hear any Pink Floyd in this?
This sounds more like Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young had a love child with Pink Floyd.
Yeah, there's just these moments and these soundscapes and these bends. I can't get away from the comparison.
Yeah.
It's twice in the song. There's the whole section, and then they revisit that same kind of, I don't know. Is it the instrumentation?
You're actually getting
a little slower,
and you're actually getting full on like blues licks.
Yes.
In this one, which is, you haven't really heard much of that. You heard more jazz licks than you've heard blues licks throughout this entire first song and this song here. So, and this is almost like country rock infused at this point, and that's where I think the Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young piece comes in.
I read it there. I also kind of read it if you listen to the recording style, right?
Yeah.
Kind of how it's presented to you.
Mm-hmm.
I hear a little bit of that Fleetwood Mac too.
Mm-hmm.
That doubled guitar and the acoustic thing and the vocal presentation straight down the center.
Yeah.
Just felt very I don't know. It just had little whisperings there. Tell you what, the guitar tone for the middle section sounds just like John Frusciante, or the other way around. John stole something.
We'll talk about John in a little bit.
Yeah, but I say next song too. I got all the trappings,
I have a
baby.
direct quote from John Frusciante about this album.
Yes, okay, my read is right.
Yeah.
I'm hearing it all day long.
Yeah.
And it's just like so cool.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. That brings me all the happiness.
Yes, especially given how different this music is from Chili Peppers.
Yes and no. I mean, we'll talk about it in the third song.
Yeah.
This song to me was like a kind of a sleeper, and towards the end of my listening, I probably give this album a good 8 or 9 listens.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this thing climbed the ranks with me really quick. Not that there are ranks to climb,
Right.
but my respect for this song exiting the album is so much higher than it was entering.
Yeah. And what's interesting about this is as the folky guitar stuff goes back and forth throughout this thing, when we're very often just humping around in 3/4. It's a really heavy groove for how light the guitar is.
That's right.
It's like a stomping groove almost. Dong, dong, dong. Like throughout the whole, except for when it goes away. But when the groove comes in, it's like, here's the beat, everybody.
Everything comes with weight.
Yeah.
But I think it serves the song.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they've abandoned kind of the wall of flavor style of singing in this one. Though there are a lot of vocal double triples, it's just not as intense.
Yep.
And I really appreciate that.
And Chris's bass is epic.
It's gnarly as always.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed.
And I've joked at least about the flat 6 chord.
Mm-hmm.
And this segment sort of ends with this, flat 6, flat 7 thing. And it's melodramatic, as I've said. Sometimes it can be beautiful. Very often it can be like melodramatic. But when we're in here, the drama is appropriate.
Yep.
As we're talking about the like duality of formal religious features, the preacher, and like mentors, the teacher. That's sort of what's going on thematically through this piece. And so obviously that flat 6 would be more of the preacher the drama of that coming out as we descend to the final movement.
Indeed.
The Apocalypse. So strangely named for how gentle this is.
It's so wild.
Yeah.
I
It's
guess
like a lonely acoustic guitar, like
it doesn't go out with a boom, it goes out with a whisper.
yeah,
It's a fantastic piece of the song too.
it is.
It's just
beautiful.
like you almost think it's not going to show up because they give it a good 2-second pause or something.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so strange to be called the Apocalypse. It's the shortest part of this song. It's 45 seconds long. It's just the end. We're back in 3/4. We're in the key of E, and it's essentially recapitulating the beginning of the song, which started in D.
D. Yep.
But remember, those harmonics were all E's.
Ooh.
It literally ends on an E.
So if you looped it,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
secular.
Yeah.
We've progressed. We've
back.
modulated up. We've ascended a whole step.
Yeah. So yes. So the question is, was that intentional to show like heightened spirituality after meeting with the teacher and the preacher? Because it's spiritual tones throughout this entire.
You've literally ascended.
Yes.
And to start the song off with all the E harmonics, is that foreshadowing?
Right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I don't know. Or was he just tuning? It just happened to be that they modulated.
I don't think he was just tuning.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the tinfoil hat on and ride the wave, man.
Yeah.
All right. Leads us to the final song.
Yeah.
Can't believe we're already there.
We're finally there at the Siberian Katru.
I love it. This song kicks so much ass.
And it really does.
I love this song. This is my first choice of the entire catalog after first listen, and 9 listens in, it's still my first choice.
The band used this as an opening number for many concerts.
Fantastic! I would be so stoked.
Yeah.
The stylings of this are just all over the place. It's just like
Well, we have a rock band now.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And like a more digestible one than the prog band that we caught the first time through, or the folk band we caught the second time through.
Yep.
But I love that they've created this great pocket. So great that Howe can just play this crazy little single note line throughout. It's
like a
call it
blues jazz
ostinato, but
riff.
it's not, because it's all over the place.
Yeah, it's like a blues jazz riff. Is the best I can come
It's
up
so cool.
with. Yeah, it is. And I have a quote from Steve Howe. It's like, it has everything. It's got riffs, themes, bridges, an unusual middle eight, and the big Stravinsky-like orchestra stabs.
It does.
Yeah.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's as good a quote as you could ask for,
Yeah.
frankly. Hang up. We're done.
Yeah.
The things that stand out to me is, obviously the licks are truly like, they're playing for the guitar players. Some of these sound like Jerry Garcia licks.
Yep.
Some of these sound like, like Bo Diddley licks. And then
Sure.
some of them sound like they're going to try and be future Steve Vai licks.
Yes.
He's really mixing the pot here.
Yes.
A lot of Fripp sounding stuff in here,
Mm-hmm.
especially at the end.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And then, but yeah, so that's all happening. Then about 3 minutes in, we get an etude that just sort of pops out of nowhere. There's a bass harpsichord
Fantastic.
etude, which is like which switches into a 2-part guitar solo.
Yeah, so to set it up properly, you kind of have this burst moment. Someone throws on, like, I guess Hal throws on like this like sitar type clone first.
Yes. Oh yeah. Right.
Like the boing,
Yeah.
like, you're just like, what the hell?
Yep.
Steely Dan would do that from time to time. We heard it last week in Alice plenty,
Yep.
but it was not a sitar.
No, it's not.
Timbra.
Yeah. Timbra.
Timbra.
Yep.
You get that and you go, okay, my ear's tweaked.
Yep.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, is it here that the bass might even have a little bit of a phaser or something going on?
Yep. For sure.
And then, sure enough, a harpsichord, but a little more modern. Is like harpsichord X clavinova.
Right.
Just dries this sucker up so hard.
Yeah.
And you're like, where am I?
Yeah.
I guess this is the fugue state we were talking about
This
earlier.
is the fugue state. Yes. Yeah. It's weird, but awesome.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And then the other thing that's in here is again, throughout this whole thing, you have more mellotron strings
Yep.
that are in here, and it's so funny because when you had the mellotron keyboard making string parts, it was acceptable that they didn't sound like strings.
Sure. It was more an effect.
Right. And then when MIDI came in and gave you string patches, even to this day, like your top of the line $600 like MIDI plugin for like the BBC orchestra strings, you still have to tweak to make them still sound like violins. It's so hard to get strings to sound like strings.
Yeah.
And people try really, really hard. But the mellotron strings, your suspension of disbelief is there, and you're okay.
It lives in the same space as the 808. Like it is. Sub it as a kick drum or a bass, sure.
Yep.
It's just accepted.
Yep. And I think what it is when you have like true MIDI strings that you put in. Like if you listened carefully to the music in the ad that we did a couple weeks ago with Murder Bunny.
Oh, thanks again to Time Warner for giving us the option to do that.
Yeah, that's right. So the scoring in there, obviously there are MIDI strings in that. And that was the hardest part of the scoring of that, was to make them actually still sound like strings, not like MIDI strings.
Yeah, and string stabs are easy. It's getting strings sustained that's believable.
Yeah, legato strings are a nightmare.
That's right.
To make sound.
Detune them.
Yeah. Yep.
And a little bit of verb goes
Yep.
a long way.
And expression pedal.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yep.
You got it. Sometimes it's doubling and getting inconsistency is how you're going to get close.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So anyway, that divergence. This song here, so we have the harpsichord thing, and then there's
Then we
like
go to the
2-part guitar solo. One's like a slide bass solo,
Yep.
then do this like lick based.
Dude, the bass playing here is off the chain. He's all over the fretboard. He's doing it like, slide is so dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets into this pattern where they're doing the offbeats like
Yep.
every other or every third
Yeah.
measure
Yep.
with the drummer. This is some of the best drumming on this entire album as well. I can't believe how much she's getting done with such a light touch.
Yeah, that's what's so incredible. And when we did our episode on Discipline by King Crimson, that's the same drummer, Bill Bruford's in that one. He's drumming harder, but he still has, you can tell he's not, like Neil Peart was notorious for, and he even said, he feels drums sound the best when you hit them as hard as you possibly can.
Yep.
So he was not known for dynamics. He was known for precision. But Bill Bruford, not that he doesn't hit drums hard, but there's a lot more finesse, I would say.
Agreed.
In his playing. And even though he can be equally as precise as Neil Peart, but he's not necessarily always that precise here. He's got more swagger, more swing.
Absolutely. And he's really taken some time to play off of Chris throughout the course of this. And this song is, I think the back half of this tune exemplifies my favorite moment, the rhythm section shares.
Yeah. Then there's this like background slide part that almost sounds like a theremin to me.
I didn't hear theremin, but I was trying to figure out what the hell that was.
Yeah. It's probably still a slide, but yeah.
I think it's like a tweaked out organ.
It could be.
Because I'm trying to figure out what your
just
key player's doing during this time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It very well could.
He's not shy of his effects at all. At all. He's used everything in the book at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's that great counterpoint, and it rolls right back into a groove.
Yeah. And then we end up with this mixed meter 3-4-4-4 groove that kind of wraps the whole piece up.
Is this the hits?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're really stunning and fun to listen to.
Yeah. And this is a song where John Frusciante,
there it is,
of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, cited the guitar solo at the end of this song as his influence for his own guitar work in the 1999 song, Get On Top.
I love that.
And he goes, I was thinking about, there's a direct quote from Frusciante, I was thinking about Steve Howe's solo at the end of Yes's Siberian Khatru. The band is really big, they're playing fast, and then there's this clean guitar that comes out of nowhere over the top. It's really beautiful, and it's like its own sort of, on its own sort of shelf. For Get On Top, I wanted to play something that would create the contrast between the solo and the background.
Hell yeah. Oh, I love that for us and him.
Yep. So, and you can clearly, if you listen to Get On Top, you can hear it. You listen to this, listen to Get On Top. Yeah.
What a great tune.
Yeah.
Oh, if we had a few more access to beers and hours on the clock, you and I would probably just sit around and listen to Blood Sugar Sex Magic tonight. And then we'd move all the way up the catalog until we hit Stadium Arcadium. And then we
fall asleep.
I think I'd start at Blood. I don't think I have the patience to go any earlier.
I love the earlier stuff, but Blood Sugar Sex Magic is one of my all-time favorite albums. Full stop.
Yeah, that's a top 10 Desert Island.
Yeah.
Say no more fan.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I couldn't help but keep hearing this tonality on here. I was just like, that's it.
Yeah.
I know that sound so well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's him.
That's him.
That's what he's channeled.
Yes.
And thank you to Yes for that.
Thank you, Steve Howe.
There it is. Well, what do you say? Does this album belong on the top 500 of all time list?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it.
Agreed entirely. Not only does it check the box of like, did it push things forward and so unique, that all the esoteric crap that they like to merit. Yes.
Yep.
It's also just a fantastic
piece of art,
collection of music.
Yeah.
It's stunning as guys who play and can also understand what other people are playing around them and aren't totally tunnel visioned. It's jaw-droppingly good what they were able to create in 1972.
Yeah. And when we've talked about other bands and other albums that we say influence things, I feel like the influence of Yes, and obviously the influence that comes out of this, when you sit down and you listen to this, like, this sounds like nothing like Taylor Swift. This doesn't sound like Bad Bunny. This doesn't sound like,
sounds like nothing else.
It doesn't sound like The Weeknd, right?
Well,
it does not. But the amount of other bands throughout the 70s at least, for sure. And then you move into the 80s, 90s. We just talked about 1999 at least goes to 1999. Music today is not as complicated as back then. They were in this perfect time. This album came out at a perfect time we had experimental music coming. You had Pink Floyd doing really weird stuff at this point. Dark Side of the Moon had not quite come out yet. But you had people experimenting in a lot of ways, and you had an audience at the time who had the patience, whether it was intentional patience or it was drug-induced patience, whatever it was.
Or it's like lack of diversity of music too.
Yeah.
Right? Like sometimes you just take what's served to you. They didn't have the ability to scroll infinite amount of indie artists.
Correct.
So if you didn't want to listen to bubblegum crap, here's your next alternative.
Correct. So we would both hit it.
Undoubtedly. And
you probably actually have this on vinyl. With all that
I
vinyl
most likely do have
acquired?
it somewhere. I had like if I see the name, yes, and I don't have it, I'm probably buying it. So I probably do have it. I didn't look through the collection for this one.
Yeah.
But I called my mom as soon as I finished listening to it the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you wouldn't believe what I was listening to. And I told her, and she's like, you know how excited I get when I listen to that album? And she started rattling off. Then I called Ralph.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, man, that was the album that you threw that one around to show people you were a musician. You understood it. Like,
right.
And then just having that clout.
Yeah.
It was like, I feel good participating in this ritual.
Yeah. Like I said, I was indoctrinated by this when I was in college by somebody. And I did like it. I complained about the sound source earlier that we listened on. I did enjoy it. He fancied himself Steve Howe. He was not as good as Steve Howe. He was a good guitar player. And we did plenty of like long 20-minute jams and experimented in the space and that sort of stuff. But I was happy to have had that then, even though I did not listen to this that much since then. I'd revisit this. I'm so happy to have spent the past week really digging into this.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'll miss this one. This to me is a top 10 moment in our excursion so far. This is the kind of stuff I want to have uncovered and shown to me.
So like it's this and what, Bonnie Raitt?
Yeah, I'm sure there's one or two more.
I'm teasing because like just the difference between those two things. Because I know that was a surprise for you.
Oh yeah, Ronstadt was a big surprise for me too.
Oh yeah,
just names you've known but you don't understand the depth, and then you open it, you crack the shell, and then you go, oh my god.
Yeah, if you all haven't listened to the Linda Ronstadt episode, I think it was episode 11 for us.
Wow, nice memory.
Yeah, I'm almost positive that's 11.
Wild,
yeah.
Dude.
I think we did a good job of that one. It's a fantastic album. Go check it out. Check out our back catalog. We do have a lot of episodes.
Yeah, we do. I'm so proud of us.
Yeah. Question for you, my friend.
Yes, sir.
What is in your ears?
Have I talked about Stone Temple Pilots recently?
I don't think you've talked about them on the air.
Great. We know the band.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be on this list at some point in time. Notoriously wonderful band. But I heard something the other day that kind of made me throw my hands up and go, what? And what that was is I was sitting at a local watering hole that has one of those, touch tunes machines. And I hear this song, and I know the guy who's playing it.
Mm-hmm.
Sits a few seats down. He always likes to dominate the jukebox. I look over at him. I'm like, hey, man, what is this? He goes, it's Stone Temple Pilots. I said, Brandon Boyd from Incubus is not the singer of Stone Temple Pilots.
Right.
Because that's exactly what this sounded like.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, this is the newer STP stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought when we lost Scott, it was like, all right, we done.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm out. I don't care. Right? Like,
yeah.
You lose such a personality, as much of a dick as he's been reported to have been.
Yeah.
You lose him. I'm kind of like not seeking you anymore.
Right.
But he played this song called like Reds and Blues, I think it's called.
Okay.
And then he played another one right after called like, Sundown, Sun something. And I was blown away by how mellow but beautiful these songs were. And it sounds nothing like, Wicked Garden or Plush.
Right.
But to see that this band has evolved, I dug through this album, the one that Reds and Blues is on. I've been like, this is such a nice listen. So highly encourage you to check it out. The singer is fantastic. He really sounds incredible. You know who else sounds just like this singer?
Who?
Van Halen's son.
Wolfie can sing.
That guy, I had no effing clue he could sing this well. Once again, I put him in the whole box of like, oh, you're going to play bitch and guitar. But they all, Brandon, whoever the dude is from SCP, and Wolfie,
Yeah.
they are like, or Wolfgang, right?
Yes.
They just have, there's this incredible round, bright timbre these dudes have, and I'm so jealous of it. Such a beautiful voice.
Yeah.
Highly, highly recommend.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned Wolfgang because he's obviously a phenomenal guitar player. He was at least a good enough bass player, not just because there was nepotism to play bass in Van Halen, but you still can't play stadium tours and be like a bar band bass player.
Precisely.
Right.
Like there's a point where all of the money and all the clout wears off.
Right. People are still paying $50, $100, $200 whenever Van Halen was touring to go see you, and they want their money's worth. And it's funny. I talked about this with some people where they are judging like famous musicians. Like, well, they're not really, so-and-so's not really a good drummer. I'm like, that drummer, whoever you're saying, or that bass player, is probably 10 times better than one of the best bar band drummers you ever heard. Yeah. Because in order to be like recording ready, it's hard to record. If you're playing to a click, I notoriously am no longer good at playing to a click. I used to play with a metronome all the time. Now I just play with people. And so I'm used to leading the click. And then when you play with a click, you have to follow a click.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's the lead follow. When I dance, I choose to lead. So I've got a lead. But it's really hard to play as good as most people play who get recorded. I'm not saying that there aren't bar bands who are better. There are thousands of bar bands that are better than people who make it on the radio. But you actually have to be really good.
And I think we're at a specific time. I agree with you, first of all, and all that. I think you could say 30, 40 years ago when the music pool or the make it to stage pool was a lot smaller.
Mm-hmm.
You probably could find some questionable players in some bands.
Sure.
And also, like, let's not even get into the whole, like, drug, alcohol, other abuses that will take you out of the player you could be.
Right.
Or once were.
Yep.
I would argue now and day, you're real hard pressed to find a touring band where every single person in that band is not an absolute monster.
Right.
Like when I say touring, I don't mean, 30 kids in the corner of a Chinese restaurant. I mean, selling real tickets, 2,000 plus seats. Yeah. The people who are playing in these things, because it's cutthroat.
Right.
And we all have Craigslist, and we all can know how to find new people for your band the second someone's not cutting it or it doesn't work. We are filthy with insane musicians out there. And so, if you're getting that stage slot, be thankful.
Yeah.
The competition's hot.
Yeah, it is hot.
What you been listening to, Hot Snakes?
Hot Snakes. So you've probably seen this group on Instagram and YouTube Shorts. I was familiar with this group with their 2024 release, Volume 1, but Angine du Poitrine.
Of course. The Polka Dot Kids.
They're so which basically, do you know what that means?
No.
Angina of the chest. So if you have not seen the people dressed in polka dots, I've been listening to Volume 2, which just came out this year. It's such a good album. They are so good. They have this one song on the album. I don't know the names of half the songs because they're all like one-word songs and it's in French. I'm going to pull up the track list. I think it's Sarnzies. I think that's the one. I don't know any of the words. It doesn't matter. it doesn't matter the names, but what's really cool about it is this guitar player is playing like this 24 beat phrase is the best way to put it. And you can group a 24 beat phrase in either groups of 6 or groups of 4.
Or 12 groups of 2.
You could do that. The drummer starts playing in a 6 feel, so groups of 6, and it sounds one way. And then all of a sudden the drummer starts playing in 4/4. And the guitar player hasn't changed a thing, and it's amazing how it changes. They're such good players. It's very unique music. It's not coffee table book music either. Arguably more digestible than what we just talked about.
Yeah, but probably a little more filthy than like Kroonbin, who you can put in that same category, ironically.
Yeah.
But, there's something beautiful and like repeatable about the Kroonbin party.
Yeah.
And then you scoot over here to like, okay, what if we really start effing with this?
Yeah.
They're more in like the Sungazer category.
They are. So it's funny because, like I said, I listened to the 24 album, so I was definitely familiar with them. And when I saw them pop up, I'm like, ooh, I need to listen. So I finally got a chance this past week to dive into the album and grinning ear to ear. They may be coming around this area in like September.
We should go.
Yeah.
Any kind of media that, has my eyes for 4 seconds keeps trying to push the Rick Beato and them at me.
Right.
And I have not clicked it yet.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I actually felt bad because we got to end this episode here, but my younger son and I, we track each other's music. And so I saw that he had already listened to the album, and he and I haven't talked about it. I'm like, damn it, he beat me to it. So he's been on this kick to at least listen to at least one album from 2026 a month.
That's great.
So, and I looked through his thing. I was like, God, you've listened to like 7 albums from 2026 already by April. I'm like, God, he's really
Wakeman,
trying to discover music. Yeah. So I was thrilled that he saw it. I'm like, oh, that reminds me. I wanted to listen to him. So anyway.
You got into it a little.
It's
amazing.
Check him out.
I'm trying to think what the release date on this episode will be.
This episode,
2 weeks, 3 weeks?
It'll be 2 weeks from now. Yeah.
So, desperate plea in the last few minutes before we actually do it.
If you made it this long.
Yeah. First of all, thank you. That means you're a devoted fan and would entertain picking up one of the few tickets we have left for our event coming
live
up in a couple of days, which is the live podcast episode.
We are live in person, not streaming.
No. You'll be in a room with us as we make podcast magic happen, and you participate. There's good food, good drink, great atmosphere. This is just west of Baltimore in the fine town of Catonsville, Maryland, Music City, Maryland.
That's right. Atwater's. The show starts at 7. Highly recommend show up a little bit early, an hour early maybe. Get yourself some dinner.
Have a drink. Yeah.
Good food. Fantastic cocktail menu. Check us out live. We'll make uncomfortable eye contact with you, I promise.
Oh, I definitely will.
Yep.
Oh, man, I definitely will. Well, it's been a ball.
Yeah.
I can't believe we probably aired out a longer episode on 3 songs, but worth every minute of it.
That's right.
Yeah. So what are we listening to next week?
Show tunes. We'll be listening to The Extraordinary Machine by Fiona Apple.
Hey, there we go. Okay, I mean, I see where you went there.
Yeah.
I know this
She's
album.
well known for that.
I know this album.
And then I know this album too.
I got an ex-girlfriend. We would just listen to this thing in the car nonstop.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It'll be nice to review.
Yeah, this is her comeback after a hiatus.
Oh, absolutely. She
Yeah.
kind of changed her tune, one may say.
She sure did.
Well, with that said, I'm still Carl Carter Fansteel.
I'm still Dan Woodard.
And we will talk to you next week.
That was a show about the album Close to the Edge by the band Yes. We just covered 3 songs in 100 minutes.
Backwards Beats Podcast is a Tune-A-Win production recorded live at Thought Shack Studios in Halethorpe, Maryland.
If you enjoyed the show, make sure to subscribe and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You can find us at Backwards Beats Podcast on most platforms.
Share the love, and we'll see you next week for another deep dive into the next album on Rolling Stone Magazine's Top 500 list. Until then, salt your melons.